Internet, Eric here. Well, it's Slashback Saturday today. My buddy Joe over on the Horrorman channel on YouTube. What he does is every Saturday he has a specific theme where if you want to participate, it's free to anyone to participate. It's YouTube, of course, it's free. You find out what his category is, and you have to pick a slasher movie that fits into said category. I've been doing a lot of these. It's a lot of fun. His channel link will be in the description below. This week's category was Halloween slashers, basically because we just had Halloween. The only requirements were it's a slasher that takes place on or around Halloween. And I've been wanting to do this movie for a while, or discuss this movie for a while. I just watched it the other day. I've had it for a while. I did not know it took place on Halloween, and I wanted to give a little bit of a spotlight because I mentioned this before when I discussed the movie Groundhog. You meet a lot of people on YouTube or on Facebook, and every now and then you meet someone who's actually in the movie business, and you may meet some directors. And I met the director of this movie, and he became a good buddy of mine today. And I've been wanting to give his movie. I'm planning on giving his movie a spotlight, anyways. But since it fell into this category for the Horror Man, I said, fuck it, kill two birds with one stone. Today's Slashback Saturday, I'm going to discuss Bad Apples. Now, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I discuss plot spoilers, specific scenes, what have you. Bad Apples came out in 2016, according to the DVD, and it's directed by Brian Coyne. And I met Brian through Facebook, through mutual friends. We share a love for 80s action and horror and Stephen King and what have you. And he sent me a couple of his films that I sadly haven't watched yet. I just now got to watching Bad Apples. And I told him if I enjoy the film, or you know what, I'd review the movie anyways, you know, but I would be completely fair, just like I was with Dave Maggot, or Dave McDonough, the director of Groundhog. I'm not, just because, you know, we're buds, I'm going to be impartial. If there's something I don't like about it, I'm going to have to discuss it. But, yeah, so Bad Apples, Brian Coyne directed, produced, and wrote as well. Basic plot of this is it's Halloween night, and we're following this this couple as they're just new to the neighborhood, what have you, and there is a set of sisters, twins, that are going around the neighborhood and knocking on the doors of people that have their lights off and killing them. Plain simple, super simple. All right, let's get to this. The acting. It's decent. I like the main girl. Now, don't get me wrong. A lot of these people, I don't know the names of the actors. So, Brian, if he sees these and he comments below, he can correct me, what have you. But the main girl, I enjoyed her for the most part. She is very likable. You do believe her when she's being stalked by these girls. It's not over the top, like super dramatic. So, that was a plus. I really like her chemistry with the actor who plays her husband. I like their relationship a lot because it's kind of like the relationship I have with my wife, how you love each other, but you're always kind of picking on each other, you know, throwing comments to each other. And it made it more relatable. It made the relationship more fun, likable. And the husband was a goofy guy too, and a lot of his scenes had me laughing. I love the scene where he's just carving the pumpkin and just being a big dork. But you also buy the scene where he believes, you know, his wife may be in trouble. Again, not over the top, not bad, nauseating like a lot of these independent films are. So I enjoy the actress who plays the main girl, but I really liked her husband. He was really good. There's two. The only actor that I recognized was the actor who plays the principal. And I think, what is his name? Is it? I don't. You know what? I'm not gonna say who it is because I don't want to mess up his name. But if you've if you ever seen Hatchet, he is the older man who gets the hatchet to the shoulder in the first movie, and he's also the grandpa in Grounded for Life. Um, it's a bit of a cameo, but he does a really good job being the school principal, telling the kids, take off the mask. What you're doing is wrong. Blah blah blah. So he's maybe in it for 5 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, but he does a decent job. I think he's trying to do a Texas accent, which I didn't buy too much, but good scene. The other actor or actress of notable notoriety that I know was former adult film star Jasmine St. Clair is in this. I follow her on Twitter and Facebook. She's really fun. And she's got a really brief scene in this as one of the victims. She's the one in the trailer park. Very short, very sweet, memorable death. But it was cool seeing her. So that's basically all the acting from the main cast. And then we get to these girls. Now, what I like about these two girls, it's, they're under the masks until the very, very, very end. And so that means their performance is basically all body language. And you can tell this one, the one with the pigtails, she's definitely, it seems like to me, she was the leader of the two. She was they both enjoy the killings, but she's the one that really enjoyed the killings a lot. Because there's a couple scenes where the one with the green hair, like when they're killing the principal, spoilers, you knew he was going to die. She kind of backed off a little bit, hands up, as I'll just call it the redhead. There's red hair and green hair. So when red hair was taking out the principal in a cool scene, she was kind of backed off like that. So you could tell red hair was kind of the leader, the one that enjoyed it a lot more. They did a good job with their body language, just being creepy, being, really, really good. And the fact that I think they're supposed to be 15, 16, I don't remember, just makes it more creepy because when they're younger, to me, it's creepier when kids are doing this, teenagers are doing this. So, gotta give props to the actresses who played the killers. Let's see here. The kills are pretty decent. I liked the principal kill a lot because there was a good. She beats him over the head with a coffee mug, and then impales him with an American flag. So that was neat. The gore isn't over the top too much because I'm assuming the budget, but when the budget does come into play with the gore, it's great. I'm not going to spoil this one, but I'll just say the jack-o'-lantern scene. Brian knows exactly what scene I'm talking about. That one you could tell the effects were put into it real well. Let's see, there's a shooting, there's some stabbings. So overall, pretty decent kills for the, I'm going to say, lack of budget or lack of big budget here. So I like that. Brian does a really good job, I'll say, with the way some certain camera shots. Two of my favorites. There's a scene where I think they're stalking an older lady. She's the one that's doing the knitting. And there's a knock on the door, and she gets up and she's walking to the door. And it's a great shot that behind her, you can see the window, and it's all black, and then suddenly you just quietly see one of the twins slowly, crawl in the window onto the couch and stalk behind her. So I really liked that scene. And then the other favorite camera shot in this movie is it's really cool because there's a couple POV shots through the eye holes of the mask, which are cool. But I'll just say it, I mentioned the jack-o'-lantern scene. There is a camera shot from inside the jack-o'-lantern looking out, and it's so cool. I loved it. I knew what it was. Once you first see that shot, you don't see what the jack-o'-lantern is, but I knew right away what it was, and then that reveal of it made it so much better because the anticipation of seeing it. So I really liked the use of camera shots. Now I did say I'm going to be impartial. There is some things that I didn't care too much for in this film. when they're killing the principal, I didn't like the use of the music that was thrown in the scene. I personally would have liked either no music and you just hear the sound effects, or just a different choice. That could be just nitpicking. I just didn't think, for the brutality that we're supposed to see in that scene, how that choice of music was. Wasn't a fan. Um, let's see here. The end, although I did like Danielle's performance, and I believe that's a little rocky in that scene as well. We'll leave it at that. Um, I liked that end, like the actual end part, but the scene where she's with her friends, kind of retelling the whole story, I don't think that fit very well, because we had just watched the whole movie and then they're basically retelling the whole movie in like a short 5-minute scene. So that kind of fell flat to me. I think just because of, we had just literally seen the whole movie and then they're retelling the whole movie. Maybe if that scene was in the beginning of the film, it could have worked better. But that's just my choice. It does leave it open for a sequel. I'll leave it at that. Whether we get one or not, I don't know. I would watch. I'm not gonna lie. I would watch a sequel because I really did enjoy these girls. And my last, I guess you would say, problem is it's this really big, intense scene. The two girls, they have the lead actress trapped upstairs, like she's locked in her room, and it's great because as she's getting away, she gets stabbed in the back with like a kitchen knife, and I didn't realize that the knife was still in her back until you see her like lock the door, and it's still sticking out of her back. And then there's a scene where she like backs up against the wall, and ooh, I winced during that scene where like she's got the knife in her back. She backs up against the wall, and the knife is still there, so it kind of pierces into her body. That was a cool idea. And then there's a really cool idea where she's talking to the girls, and they're like, and she's asking, why are you doing this? And they're just saying, trick or treat. And she asks, how old are you? And they say 15, 32, 47. They're just going through different numbers. So that makes it really, really creepy. But then how the twins are taken care of, to me, honestly, I mean, they had just like hacked through the door with the hatchet. It just seemed very anticlimactic. And then it just kind of ended there. And then we go to the scene where the friends are telling the lady the whole story. So I wanted more of these twins being taken out, if you know what I mean. Because it was just kind of one and done, if you know what I mean. I understand. And I'll say this, though. This movie did start off really, really good, really brutal. A pregnant woman is attacked by a psychotic. We get some uncomfortable stabbings. And then the husband comes home. And I'll say this is some pretty gross effects, too. I mean, we don't see the actual birth, but the twins have been born right there on the floor. So I understood right away, born in violence makes you violent type of thing. And then it was reiterated in the story with the friends. So that was a good hook in the beginning as well. So, yeah, overall, I'm going to say I really enjoyed Bad Apples. My problems, pretty minuscule, I guess you would say. First off, love the girls, whoever they are. Their body language is great. I really enjoyed the main actress. Loved her husband. He was a lot of fun. It was cool seeing this guy. Whenever he pops up, I always enjoy him. Decent gore. Well, from pretty decent gore to one really good, or two. The jack-o'-lantern and the pregnancy scene at the very beginning. So two really good gore scenes. Always good to see Jasmine St. Clair, even though she's in it for like 3 minutes. That shot outside, shooting outside the jack-o'-lantern, and that shot where she's crawling in the windows, really, really good. But yeah, I wish there was more when those kids were taken care of. That just kind of left it a little bit flat for me. And the story with I guess like the miscarriage she has kind of went nowhere. I just thought of that. But you know what? I also like there's some eccentric characters in the neighborhood. You get the town busybody, and you got the pedophile who gets taken care of, living across the street. I like his scene, how, he can't have the Halloween light on because, he's not allowed to celebrate Halloween. And he yells at the girls because, they're going, like I said, they're going door to door, anyone that's not celebrating Halloween. So he has his fill. So, but yeah, overall, like I said, I had to be impartial. He's my buddy, but I had to be impartial. Those that the lack of a final oomph when the girls are taken care of, and then the same with the two friends telling the story, even though we already got it. Notwithstanding, I really enjoyed Bad Apples. Now, where you can find it, I don't know. Like I said, Brian sent this to me, just like Dave sent me Groundhog. But I do know it's free on Tubi. I know there are a couple red boxes that has it, so you can get it. I'm sure you can find it on Amazon or whatever. But overall, really enjoyed Bad Apples. That is my impartial review of my friend Brian's film. Correct me if I'm wrong, Brian. You're also in the credits. I didn't recognize you. Oh well. Yeah, so that's it. That's my Slashback Saturday Halloween Slashers contribution. Anyway, so thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Click the bell, all that. Comment below. Tell me what you thought of this film. If you've seen it, like or dislike. Yeah, so in the end, I'll just say cheers and trick or treat.